What's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Yash Talks Football. We're back with a video, and it's one that I think all us Arsenal fans ahead of the next week's games were dreading the news, as I say that, because Gabriel Magalhaes is out for the season and will most likely miss pre-season as well. That means we've got to play Real Madrid with Jakub Kiwior as our centre-back to replace him. But if you're new around here, like, sub, and share the content around. Do whatever you got to do to help the channel grow. Check out the video from yesterday. That was my match reaction for the game on Tuesday. We saw Liverpool win last night. Yeah, they weren't great, but they got the job done. And for what, 4 more wins till they win the title. So, yes, I just want his Premier League season to end, get the Madrid tie over with, and then whatever happens after that happens. Now, I wanted to sort of address the question because we've had Bukayo Saka out with a hamstring, Gabriel Martinelli out with a hamstring injury, Kai Havertz out for the rest of the season. We've had Julian Timber having ACL surgery, so on his knee. Gabby Jesus also had an ACL. Tomiyasu's injured. What is going on with our sort of injuries? And why is it always the same areas of like the body that we always get problems with? Because let's be real, over the course of Arteta's time, we've had a fair few amount of injuries and fair few amount of knee injuries, hamstrings. There has been, like, yeah, some of them have been knocks every now and then, but quite a lot have been down to the players that he's bought. He bought in Tomiyasu, who's injury prone. Calafiori's injury prone. Even though players that he didn't buy, Reece Nelson, Kieran Tierney, Thomas Partey, most of our players struggle to stay fit, and I think this is where you have to look at the injury the injury staff, the medical staff, because you can't have a team of medical experts that have been in our club for, as far as I'm aware, quite a while, because I think we had one that recently went to Manchester United. So there probably are some other members of the medical team that are still here, that throughout Arteta's reign, and even, I can't quite remember when it comes to Unai Emery, but especially in Mikel Arteta's reign, whenever we buy a player and they've had a very good injury record, Thomas Partey, as far as I'm aware, had a decent injury record. I think, I can't remember who else at the top of my head, but they did have quite a good record until they came here as well. That was it, because he missed a bit of the start of the season as well, because he had to go away because he had a broken toe, and Mikel Arteta continued to play him. And that's also another reason why I think our injuries are stacking up. Mikel Arteta. You play Bukayo Saka week in, week out for about 4 years straight, he finally breaks down. Declan Rice, you play him with a broken toe, and then he misses the next couple of games. Ben White needed knee surgery for about a year, I'm pretty sure. He breaks down as well. Julian Timber, I think that was an unlucky one. To be fair, since then he's been very good, Julian Timber. But however, whether he plays against Madrid or even plays against Everton, we don't know the extent of what that injury that he done during the Fulham game. To be honest, we got very lucky with injuries last season. We barely had any, I'm pretty sure. I think the only one that we had was obviously Timber. Partey was out for quite a while, but we know it was one of them ones. I'm not going to say what it actually was, but we will know why Thomas Partey was probably out. And from what I can remember, there wasn't hardly any, apart from Tomiyasu, but that's a given at this point, let's be real. Like I'm trying to say, it's a mix of the manager and his game management, the medical team for either rushing them back way too early, and that's what causes it, more injuries. Holding off surgeries until it gets to a point where their form drops massively. For example, Ben White, because let's be real, he did not start the season well at all. He looks proper lethargic, and maybe even the coaching team as well, because the training regime, I don't actually know what it's like, but we know with quite a lot of modern managers, they put their players through the paces in training, and I don't personally agree that should be really happening in the modern game, especially with the fixture pilots we get and the amount of games that we have to play. But yeah, it's not a good look that Gabriel's out now because we've got to play Kivy or a centre back, and we saw when he came on against Fulham how bad he was. He letting the ball bounce so many times, and that's the one thing that frustrated me about him a lot. He lets the ball bounce stupidly for no reason. But yeah, it is what it is. No Gabriel, but yeah, we got to pray for Madrid. Yeah, right. Remember, like, sub, and share the content around, and I'll see you a lot for probably the Everton preview tomorrow. So yeah, in a bit.